The person who says she's responsible for Britney Spears' life, but I don't think this is accurate, is an actress named Melissa Joan Hart. You familiar with Melissa Joan Hart? She was
Sabrina the Teenage Witch.
Exactly. That's
on
what
TV.
She's best known for. Sabrina the Teenage Witch. She's been in some other shows as well. She said in the 90s they were filming a video called You Drive Me Crazy. She was in, it's a Britney Spears video. Britney was 17 at the time, and Melissa says she was underage and young, and I said, let's go out and party a little bit. And they did. And she said, I just wanted to go off and blow off some steam, have some fun. But I think that's when Britney started to go down the wrong path. And she says, because of that, I feel responsible for Britney Spears and where she's gone. I think more has happened to her since. I don't believe that is Melissa Joan Hart's fault.
No, I mean, that's nice of her to kind of maybe take some responsibility for it.
She said, I feel guilty about it to this day because I should have known better. I should have been a big sister to her. Instead, I was pointing her in the wrong direction, and we were drinking, and she was underage, and I never should have done that to her.
When there was, it almost seems hard to believe now, but there was a time when Britney and Paris Hilton and Lindsay Lohan would all go out partying together.
Yeah,
remember that era?
Oh, yeah, that's right. Yeah,
and the tabloids ate it up. We could not get enough of them. We like to punish them because that was when the women would get out of their limousines without underpants on.
That's right.
That was the era of the upskirt.
That's right.
The golden age. To kids of that age now, they couldn't even conceive of something like that. A paparazzi would just
waiting for you.
For young women to get out of their vehicles.
You don't think Melissa Joan Hart is to blame here?
No, and this is self-serving.
You think it's just to put her name in there? Yeah.
Yeah, I mean, I think that's like, that'd be like for some reason you decided to go on a podcast and say, I once gave Biggie a chicken sandwich.
Yeah, right. Or here on our air.
Yeah.
So, I gave Biggie a whatever.
Yeah. To me, this is all a very look at me moment.
Unless, I mean, I hear what you're saying, and that's certainly possible. Unless she said this on a podcast.
Oh, then you take it for what it's worth.
Yeah,
right?
I mean, I don't think she's trying to inject herself into the Britney conversation.
I think she is.
Yeah, I mean, it seems like, I don't know who asked the question. I don't even know where it came from. I just saw the article. This is her quote as saying, I should have been a better mentor and a big sister to her. Instead, I took her out partying when she was 17. Two examples of that. One, I've told you this before. When I was in college, my dear friend and my roommate, we were at the grocery store shopping for something, and I'm standing at the checkout line. I said, let's get some cigarettes. Let's just get some.
Mom's not around.
Right. I knew a guy that smoked. I said, let's get some cigarettes. He's like, no. I got Camels. He got Marlboros. I smoked two and said, oh, my God, that's it. He loved them. He smokes now.
To this day.
To this day, he smokes. And I've always...
Should you have been a better role model?
Yes. I was older. I was a year older than him. Of course, I should have been a better role model. I said, I'll get the cigs. Yeah. I was like, let's do it. To this day, he smokes. I blame myself.
Have you said this to him?
No. No.
Has it come up between you?
No, he's a smoker. I mean, less now than he used to. He used to be like a smoker. He would smoke every day. I think now it's just occasional, but he still smokes. And he told me once, because later his parents and his sister tried to get him to quit. You know how you do. Everybody tried to get him to quit. And he finally just told everybody, including myself, look, I'm a smoker. That's who I am. I'll
live with the consequences.
I'm a smoker, damn it.
He said, I'm always going to smoke.
And I suppose at that age, in that time frame, once at age 18, the family's like, disappointing, but
well, they tried to get him
it's
like
you.
But he had smoked at least 10 years by the time they were really like,
Did he hide it?
For a little while, but then he became like out with smoking because he was 28. And everybody, I remember one year in his, they made him a little stocking at Christmas. And inside, yep, that's right. They made him a little stocking. He was probably 30. And they put inside there like 10 reasons you should quit smoking.
Oh, a leaflet.
A leaflet.
Yeah.
And
not a carton.
No. It was like little things to help, the patch.
Nicorette
gum,
the rubber band around
the
your
rubber
wrist.
band,
Yeah.
all these things to help him quit smoking, along with here are the 10 reasons why. Mostly were pictures of black lungs.
Yeah.
And he said that was an awful Christmas.
I was hoping that there'd be at least a lighter at the bottom.
Yeah. And at the end, that's when he said to me, I'm a smoker. That's who I am. I'm always going to be a smoker. But I've always had in the back of my mind, I don't even know if he thinks of it that way. But I remember standing there at the Winn-Dixie in Boone, North Carolina. I had bought all the things to make my chicken casserole. Okay. And it was it was the first week of school, and we were going to cook to save money. We were going to go to the store. Now, that lasted 1 week.
Yeah. Yep.
Then we started going to McDonald's and Taco Bell and whatnot. And so I said to him, let's get cigarettes. He was like, no.
Oh, I'm an athlete.
He was an athlete too. Well, I got him a pack of cigarettes. He quit the cross-country team. He quit the track team. He studied, it was a gateway drug. Okay.
You're Melissa Joan Hart.
I'm Melissa Joan Hart. I'm Melissa Joan Hart. I'm the one that got him to smoke.
You remember, I bet, much like Melissa Joan Hart, you remember it. I bet he has no.
I don't think he has any memory of it.
Probably, I don't even remember when or why I started smoking.
Do you think he tried any when he was in junior high or earlier in high school?
Well,
because
probably.
most do. It's certainly that age.
I mean, probably.
Yeah.
We'd all smoked 5 or 6 cigarettes.
Yeah.
But we had left it at that. He was not thinking about buying them. And when we got there, I said, there they were on the checkout area. I said, let's get it, come on. I was egging him on. Then, now he may have turned to it eventually anyway because.
Life.
Yeah, life. Plus he'd go out drinking, at the bars and stuff. And people were smoking. Or at that time, people were smoking around him. Yeah, everywhere. And I think he tried to quit a time or two. And then he came to the conclusion, I'm a smoker. That's who I am. He goes, I'm always going to smoke. He told me that one time. I'm always going to smoke at least a little. And I just finally backed off and relented. But I do feel that guilt to this
Now, I know Biggie knows this person, and I've spent some quality time with this person as well. And I believe his spouse at one time.
She's a smoker. I was a smoker. Yeah.
Did he turn her? Can you take responsibility for turning both on?
I don't believe so. I think
because they met in college.
They did meet in college, and I think she would. I'm not sure of this, but I believe she smoked at bars, when they would go out like to dinner or whatnot, she would smoke. Now, but I think he became more of a smoker than her. I'm speaking out of turn here because I really don't know.
Yeah.
But I know that I was the one pointing at those Marlboros that day, that fateful spring or fall day. Yeah.
You and Melissa Joan Hart trying to get some shine off others' addictions.
That's right. That's right. And then the other story about that is, great put up or shut up question we asked 18 months ago. I know Biggie will remember it. When, who's the Star Wars actor? Carrie Fisher. Carrie Fisher went to James Blunt's apartment one night. James Blunt had a one-hit wonder. He sang "You're Beautiful." You're beautiful.
That guy.
Mm-hmm. Well, he put in his memoirs that he feels responsible for the death of Carrie Fisher, who played Princess Leia in Star Wars, because one night she came to his house and said, "Let's do some coke." And he knew that she should not be doing that. She had had on again, off again relationship with drugs. But he was like, all right, I got some coke in here. Come on, let's do some coke. Let's do some coke. They did coke. 48 hours later, she had a stroke and was dead. And he said, if I had said no to her and turned her away, I feel like she wouldn't have done that. It wouldn't have led to her stroke and her death.
Now that I kind of feel. That one, yeah.
His in his book said he has huge, he feels a terrible responsibility and remorse for doing that.
I understand that. And, and maybe, and I'm not trying to take ease his pain a little bit or his burden, but if you're that addicted, and it sounds like Carrie Fisher certainly was, she may have had other avenues.
Probably.
But then she had sources everywhere.
Yes, but he was the one.
Right.
That's how it is.
That's my thing is, and he knew, and I know that's hard to turn a friend away, but that to me is more than I once took, Britney Spears out when she was 17 and one time.
Yeah.
It's more directly.
Yeah.
Because he knew she was an addict. He knew she had had struggles before.
However, I agree with you generally. But this Melissa Joan Hart, Britney Spears was 17. And according to her, she had not done any drinking. And she took her out and got her to drinking when she was 17. And she's like, I gave her first, I opened that door.
Well, if she was indeed the first, I mean, that's kind of, we're taking her word for it.
Yeah.
We'll never know.
Right. Yeah, maybe not. But, I can see a little responsibility. I think James Blunt, I agree, that's more. Because, God, Carrie Fisher died 2 days later. She had the stroke and then she died.
I wouldn't have even owned up to that.
Yeah, he did it in the book.
Yeah.
I know. I wouldn't have owned up to it either.
That's like shooting your dog. You don't have to put everything
You
in the book.
you don't have to write it
everything
down.
in the book.
Take a note. The governor of South
Where's the
Dakota.
editor?
Yes.
Yeah.
The governor of South Dakota should have taken a note from James Blunt. You do not have to say all these things.
Not to pick on Governor Nome of South Dakota, but everybody knows that story now.
Yeah.
I read, only in one source, that this is her, I believe, second book, Ms. Nome. And she wanted to put it in the first book. And the editor said, don't do that. So she has been dying to tell this dog shooting story.
Desperate to say.
She is.
She shot her dog.
Yeah.
And goats.
You don't have to say that stuff. Do you know how many things I've never said? All these dark things that have gone through my mind and these horrible things.
Those deep recesses of that mind?
Yeah.
Don't say it. You do not have to say that kind of stuff. This was interesting, too. I don't know who this person is, but apparently she's big. She's a golfer. Paige Spiranac. I've heard the name. You familiar?
I am. Well, she has a beautiful golf swing, but she's kind of become just this Twitter presence now with tight-fitting clothing.
Okay. I read this. I don't really know who she is.
She is.
Gorgeous.
To me, I'd rank her as one of the top 5 hottest women I've ever seen in my life.
See, this is the thing. The only thing I watch on TV is old Law and Order, old Friends. You know that. Yeah. I never see this stuff. Is she on Golf Channel? Is she a golfer and she's on there a lot or something?
Well, she was.
Yeah. All right.
She was, but now she's just like an online presence.
Okay.
And I mean, she's an okay golfer. Look, she's mostly just trying to give swing tips and tight outfits and get sponsorships and viewers, and that's all it is. I follow her. I followed her for years. Couldn't tell you one thing about golfing I've learned from her. But
she's a better swing than anybody in this room. That's for sure.
Guaranteed. Every time I'm around a group of guys and golf comes up, they'll say, man, Paige Spiranac. So I have to go, oh, yeah, high five. You know how you do. And I'm just like, oh my God. I assume she's gorgeous. I've never seen her. There's an internet rumor that she doesn't have nipples. I'm sure you've seen it because she wears all these tight-fitting outfits and no one ever sees her nipples. And so there is a porn site, camsoda.com, has said, we'll give you $250,000 to prove it, that you have nipples.
50-50, she takes it.
You think? That's the debate. That's the debate on like, will she or won't.
She's actually talked before kind of on some of her social media platforms like, I don't make as much money as you guys think.
Yeah.
Let
me do it.
She's not OnlyFans yet?
No, she's not OnlyFans. I always assume that because she's normally wearing some type of tight golf attire or athletic attire.
Yeah.
And I just assumed that, maybe she had some pasties on or something. Because
sure
you never see.
I'm sure that's true.
Or whatever she's wearing just makes it where you can't see it.
Mm-hmm.
But, I mean, Lord, if she went on there, I'd pay. I mean, I might be one of the first ones in there to pay.
Well, everybody I'm reading says they think this camsoda.com did it as sort of a joke, but now she's considering. I think they may up the offer. Maybe she should say, well, I'll do it for $1 million. I'll do it for $500,000. Just see what you can do,
Let me tell you, there'd be a lot of
a lot of
people
clicks.
logging on to that.
They'd make money out of that, and they could pay her $1 million probably and make money out of that. But that was the whole debate is, does she or does she not have nipples? Well, of course. I mean,
we assume.
Of course, I'm sure she does. But they say, prove it. She says, I do. They say, prove it. And they're offering her this money.
What strange times we live in.
Ain't that the truth?
I'll tell you, she is truly one of the first times I saw her. I just remember thinking, my God.
Paige Spiranac. All right. Well, maybe I will, if I knew how to follow somebody on anything.
But whether Dave can give you some tips.
He'll tell us how to do this.
She's and I think on some of the covers of the latest Sports Illustrated swimsuit edition.
That's where she came up.
But the outfit she wore to like the launch.
Unbelievable.
Yeah.
So when the pickleball guys are like, Paige Spiranac, I am...
you need to look her up because then you'll understand why everybody's like, my God.
But I'm right to high five.
Without a doubt,
all right. Okay. Got it. Because that's what I do. I'm like, Spiranac.
Smart.
Okay. That's how I've played it so far.